Hi, Kani. Thanks. Finally, we get to talk to each other.
Yes.
We've been trying for a while.
Yes.
As you've been super busy these days, traveling all over the place. You're in judging a lot of festivals, in between some travel, etc., etc. So you just came back from Istanbul. So tell me a little bit about. It's been like a whirlwind for you for the last year or so, probably, with the two films that have done really well, All We Imagine Light and Girls Will Be Girls. Just tell me a little bit about what is life before these two movies and what is life now, and how did you pick these? I mean, there's a lot of questions I have, but let me just ask you, in the last 2 years, has your schedule and recognition and all that stuff has changed a lot compared to before?
I mean, that way I don't see a difference. It's not the, I think always this kind of recognition, the difference I have felt as an artist is more towards, I don't know if you relate to this, but I feel sometimes you are not heard when you speak as a woman sometimes. And once these kind of recognition, people actually pay attention to you or something. This I think everyone should be heard, but either you have to be in some power, or you're a man, or you have to earn it really, the right to speak and right to be heard by people. I think it's more that, and it's not about these two films. I come from Kerala.
Right.
I won the Best Actress State Award in 2020. That is when I actually felt a significant difference. One is because also I am from there. So again, this I have spoken before in other occasions. For an actress, it's their basic right to have, for example, contract, what all should be written in that and everything. But in Kerala or in India, unfortunately, contracts are given to only mostly the main actors or the stars. Actually, everyone part of the film or the industry or the project should have those rights to have those, and so that there's a system in place, and these are not there. And only once I won the Best Actress, if I ask for a contract, nobody's offended. Okay, she can ask because she won.
Yeah.
And it's very funny because your basic rights are given to you as an artist only after you get certain recognition. That's how I have experienced it, honestly. It was not about, am I getting busy or am I getting more work? It was more than that. This is the change that I quite observed, and I was quite pleasantly surprised and shocked also at the same time. About these two films, I would say to be able to meet artists from different parts of the world, to be able to know their journey as well, like from developing countries to developed countries, how are their journey so to resonate with them, that has been something for me, these two films, and able to travel like that and able to spend quality time with other artists from the world. So that alongside to what you asked, like about work coming, to begin with, I mean, this may sound quite, I don't know, not so polite, but I'm not, anyway, I was never like, wow, so much amazing work is happening. I don't have this feeling. I always feel something original or amazing happens very rarely in the world, also in India. So I think all of us always want to be part of those, rather everything. And I've never been choosy or picky. I mostly have taken things that comes in my way, and if I see some kind of resonance either with the story or the makers, I end up doing it. It doesn't have to be everything falling correctly as well. But if there's an ideal situation, it is not about getting many work for me. It is about that something that really excites you in terms of its storytelling, in terms of how the process is going to be, everything. But then I think you will hardly going to get work. So I won't say that it changed drastically like that. I was getting similar kind of work before as well, or right now as well. But mainly these two films, what it has given me is, while we were making the film, the experience, plus to be able to really meet amazing people along when we were showcasing the film. That is what I think probably a difference.
So, talking about being heard, it's an interesting point that you raise. in general, I think it's not just in the film world, even in the business world, women feel they're not heard. There's no gender parity at all in economic, and actually some reports say it'll be 130 years before there is any semblance of gender parity, etc. So what do you see around you? What do you experience about gender parity? What do you think could be done, should be done to make sure everybody gets contracts, everybody gets the right pay, etc.? What are some of the things you would like to see happen?
One is that having a contract for everyone, every like a makeup assistant to not just artist, to make a film. There are different kind of artists are working together in different power structure, in different experience. There is a hierarchy. I'm not asking that hierarchy to change drastically, because hierarchy sometimes comes with experience as well. So that is understandable, but everyone should have their basic human right, their right to get the remuneration on time. Everything, that all of that shouldn't be an extra negotiation and time going into that, because we are creative people, and there is also production side of it. But everyone should be working what they want to work, rather the other things around it too much. It can't be too much. Of course, we all have to also do other things, but proportionately that should be less than this. Sometimes it becomes the management of that comes more than so that. And then another thing I always think, again, like when I started working in films in Kerala mostly, we used to hardly see any women crew part of the whole crew, because the only actresses will be the only women sometimes, and it's changing because of multiple reasons. One is everyone has a mobile phone, so the safety of a lot of time girls were not allowed to go on a set, because sometimes shoot will happen late night, then the family is worried, or they themselves are worried, will I come back safe, how will I communicate even? And a time where we did not have even a mobile phone was in a differently scarier. Now it is better to have, but there used to be less women, hence there were only always bathrooms probably for the actresses. And we don't even have basic rights for bathrooms most of the time. A lot of women in the crew, especially in the south, in Bombay it is different, but they don't have, sometimes they don't provide good bathrooms, or sometimes production is like, let's not call assistant female so that we don't have to provide this extra bathroom, or they can't share a room with, like, so you keep seeing that the production side will find a way to not let women enter there. So I used to think that, especially because I don't know if you are familiar with Women in Cinema Collective. So we used to talk a lot of things, a lot of these things in that, and sometimes we wonder, should we have like a percentage, like what if there is a thing that like 50% of women has to be there in a filmmaking? Can we make policies like that? But how much strict it can be implied? Will then people say, but this is an freedom of art, like I want to work with artists that I like, just because someone is women I can't put, all these are things to talk. So I used to think, okay, fair, then they can have the, like there is production design, there is makeup, there is costume, there's all these departments, cinematography. Okay, you would prefer a certain artist, maybe it's a male, so you have them, but you always have a team who's assisting them. There is a cinematographer's assistants, makeup assistant, costume assistant, even producers will have all of them are there. In that, can't we put a policy that says that if there is 2 assistants, 1 has to be a woman, or in 2, like that, even if they are not experienced. So yes, maybe you will not get the delivery the way an experienced male would give as an assistant, but take that little step down, so that after 4-5 years, there are more women in all those.
Because there has to be some way they are given an opportunity to try. Otherwise, it will never happen.
Yeah, exactly. So I was saying, okay, why can't it be assistants? It doesn't have to be in charge of the HOD of that department, which I understand, because you may want the best HOD. I understand that, but so we were thinking, how can that be changed? So if you have many women, that disparity will change. And the other thing is about salary, how men are paid more for the same work, women will get paid less. That's not the only hierarchy cinema has. Cinema also has, like, of course, actors get paid more than any other people. So all this is there. Ideally, I would like it to be shared kind of fairly, way more fairly than the the disparity right now is actors get paid that and main actors get that much, this person get this much. It's all.
I mean, it's like could be 100x difference.
Yes, so
the two.
I would like that to change in a much better way, that you kind of also feel like treating people equally.
Correct.
Hence that. Also in some other in north part of India, I have seen food is given in different, like you have a different tent for actors, a different crew for a different. They don't make them. It's almost it is untouchability almost. Like I have to say this. It's horrible. So there are millions of such things I would like. Some places it's changing for sure, but mainly contracts from where I come from. I wish there is contract. I wish there is more women included consciously and actively, even as assistants or run. Like let them be around so that they keep seeing and all that. That I would.
Now talking about women, and we go back to your acting thing. If you look at All We Imagine, it's a nurse and it's a more lower middle class strata. Then we go to girls, it's more like a young girl's journey, the mother. Yeah. It's more like an upper middle class kind of a thing. So, and in the other movies that you played, each character is very, very different. So how do you prepare for these? I mean, in the acting world, there's the method acting where you feel, do you go spend time with the nurses to see how they are, or how do you prepare for roles that may not have had the same background as you did?
I mean, that is acting, but anyway.
That's true. That's
you
true.
get to live like different people in one life, I think.
Yeah.
I come from this, it's not just background, because I have been trained also. So I do think it's good to get training. Not necessarily that you go to a college and get trained. It can be training on your own at your home as well, but you have a rigorous practice in your craft, which is definitely required in this field like any other field. You can be born with that certain talent, but do you want to maximize your talent, you need to practice your craft. Otherwise you will remain in that talent what you have, and then it will slowly deteriorate like anything else you have. You will not have much to showcase new, and for that, like anything else, you will have to practice this. Coming back to your question precisely, I would say I am coming not from the method acting school necessarily, because the school I studied or I spent the most in investigating was this school called Jacques Lecoq, which is a school in Paris. So they work, I mean, of course we all work with our body, but they don't like to go in psychologically. They're not encouragers of much of Stanislavski, for example. But method acting, some aspect of it in terms of physicality of it, like when I had to do, for example, this nurse Prabha, we did interact with some nurses just to observe them, and they did come, and because it's also a certain work that you do, which makes you behave in a certain way in terms of like how you use your hand. Like a nurse, I'm pretty sure they'll be more careful with their hands and taking things, because you are using syringes, you're using things which is not supposed to be, like carelessly used. So I don't have the habit of using something like that. Then this is nice, like, you practice something for some time that you start slightly behaving that way, and the way you sit,
adapting it.
Yeah. So I like all kinds of style of acting and all kinds of craft as well. I think as an actor, it's good to have different kind of craft if you can in one lifetime.
Yeah.
So that you don't know which works for which film. So because All We Imagine as Light, Payal wanted a lot of rehearsals. Payal wanted to see exactly what will happen in those. So if an actor is like, no, if I do more than 3-4 times, I'll become mechanical. You can't then work with Payal.
Correct.
At least in that film. I mean, she can also change her way of working later. You have to be again the same and go into the same thing again and again and again. So my theatre background helped me for that, because you keep performing, maybe perform more than 1,000, 5,000. Some actors have done way more than that. And you keep going into it again and again as if that has happened for you for the first time.
The first time, I know.
So that also comes as a craft. Like, how do you go back to the first moment and then go in again? And that is not about again characterization specifically.
Right. It's a discipline.
It's just like it is one aspect of acting where how do you go back again, where you know everything but you tend to forget it and go in it again. Okay. At the same time, you know your dialogues, you know the other persons, you know what's going to happen, but you just go in it as if you did not know it, you're reliving it again and again. So
it's kind of like the Groundhog's Day, you have to forget what happened yesterday and start all over again.
It's kind of a thing. Yeah.
So either you enjoy it or not. Then coming to the characterization aspect of it, me as an actor, I don't think I have so much talent, because from childhood I did not have this passion to act. I in fact never thought of this also. I think my talent is probably average, but I work hard to maximize what I have, rather me having more talent in me. I don't have it so much in me. So in that way, I'm like, characterization is not something very easy, because sometimes in India again, the way everything works, which we all know, is like sometimes it's the last minute you do a project.
Yeah.
You don't get the time to do the method acting.
Preparation.
Yeah, again, the disparity, again talking about stars and actors. Sometimes stars may be in the project much earlier and they had the time to probably prepare for the characterization. And a lot of other actors, part of the project, sometimes doesn't, only the main actors get that time. Anybody other ones, maybe they get a call a week before, sometimes 2 days before, and they just have to, so you have to be prepared already in the other time in your life. And when you read something, it has to immediately come to you. That's the way, unfortunately, or you can develop the craft that way, that's also there, part of it. But this is how it is. But in characterization, I was not always able to do it. One is because I am not very good in immediately getting into a completely different personality than me that fast. But thankfully, Girls Will Be Girls or All We Imagine has given me some enough time, so that for Girls Will Be Girls, for example, I absolutely did not understand that character when I read it. I have not seen a person like that. I don't know why she behaves that way. Honestly, I told this to my director.
Why is she sitting sleeping next to that guy?
Everything.
Why is she doing
I am asking my director, what is this mother? I don't understand her. So, but in the meeting we had, she, as a director, she was very interesting. She's very open to all that, and the way when I was talking to her, I thought, oh, this is an opportunity for me as an actor. I will really get to play something I don't know.
Correct, yeah.
And where I felt she's very patient with me, and she's happy with me as an actor. So I was like, okay, maybe I'll be able to do it then.
Yeah.
So I had some time. We workshopped the day how Anila can probably walk or how she sit. And we also, I actually put on 10 kgs more at that time for that, and then put on extra stuffing to change the body posture a bit. And so we do a lot. So that makes me sit also in a certain way. I'm not gonna, I walked in a certain way. Sometimes I lost it also. Some shots I know. I was very...
Only you know, don't worry, you don't know.
Inconsistency. So great actors will not be inconsistent. They will be in it all the time.
Right.
So, like when you ask me, yes, we all learn it. Sometimes you learn it in school or college, the craft. Sometimes you are practicing it on your own. There are many actors that I look up to. They learn every day.
Who are some people you look up to?
I was thinking of Kerala actors now.
Yeah, of course.
I absolutely love Mammootty. Like he's a star and he's a fantastic actor. Also, I love Mohanlal, but Mammootty is someone I personally like. What you asked, like I think he is a very disciplined actor who continuously practice the talent he has and push his limit every time.
Yeah.
So he's aging like great wine, like really amazing.
And I mean, this is not about him, but like in terms of the difficult characters he takes, like it's not always the glamorous characters.
Yeah, So and another actress, I would say Urvashi. Not everyone know her, but she's I think one of the finest actors India has, and she's done amazing characters in her when she was younger. She's continued to do, but not as much she used to do when she was younger. She also done all kinds of characters, which is witty, humorous, this serious, this that, everything. Yeah. And she kind of really embodies it. And again, she comes from a family of artists. Her sisters, her parents, all of them were actors or into theatre. So probably she knew it. So I think that in India, the way we make a film, most of the time people don't put that importance of characterization much, that actors with a lot of discipline only finally brings that quality of characterization. That okay, this person is really trying to be someone else. Most of the people are doing, can I be myself and honest?
Yeah.
That is the bare minimum. You do that, you already get quite priced in like wow, you did a good job. That people are already happy with that.
Right.
But I think when I look at like actors that we really admire in the world, most of them are really like Daniel Day-Lewis or like Joaquin Phoenix, like all of these actors. I think they really become another person. Or Christian Bale, like they all. I really admire all these actors.
Yeah.
And a lot more also I love. But in India, very few actors do this.
Yeah.
Being really different from what they are, and in every work that they put to. I aspire to, I very rarely has been managed to do it. Most of the time because again, last minute I end up going and I'm just trying to be honest than, trying to be another person. Very rare, because if you don't do that enough practice before shoot, it can flip, it can really slip while you do a scene. It will not be consistent. At places you will be you, and then suddenly, you need to have that. So it has to become your second nature.
Right, yeah.
But again, I'm not like into method acting. Daniel Day-Lewis is someone I completely admire, and he does that all the time.
Yeah.
But I think all actors find their own way.
Correct.
They may mix and match. Some may be dedicated to one or technique alone. I personally have few of the techniques. That one I learned from my school. And another one is in Kerala we have this form called Kudiyatam. Which is one of the most ancient theatre form, and there was this guru called Ammanur Madhava Chakyar. He passed away. His disciples are Kapila and all this really amazing actress. She's also my friend. So her father gives this class called Navarasa Sadhana, and he basically, the whole school is offering actors to kind of how to go into your sthayi bhav, like of the character, to before reaching even the sthayi bhav of the character, how do you reach your own, and how do we travel from Sringara, Hasya, Karuna, all the Navarasas, but in a much deeper way. How they teach is, they're going to teach you understand how do you breathe when you have each emotions, and when you cry, how do you breathe exactly, and when you're angry, what's your breath? Do you hold your breath, or do you, so in each, or when you wonder, what's happening, or when you're in love, what's happening, and different love. So it's more an observation of your breath, and they've made an amazing sadhana of this, and then they teach this to any kind of actors. This was developed specifically for Kudiyatam, but they are very generously offering it to all kinds of practitioners of art, not just even actors. If you want to go, they will. It will be wonderful.
So fascinating.
It is amazing.
Actually,
I'll show you something after this. You'll love it.
Right.
So this is something also that has helped me. It's not for characterization much, but it is to go into a state of mind. How do you every time just slip into it? What can help me to go into it? One is concentration. You really need concentration to go in, and how do you practice that? So they offer that. So it's a mix of different schools that has helped me. It's not one alone for me.
Now, talking about schools, you went to the theatre school in Thrissur, and then you went to Paris. How did you go from Thrissur to Paris? How did you, not that you can find out about it, but it's sort of, it's a quite a journey, so how did you decide? You could have gone to US, you could have gone to UK, you could have gone anywhere. How did you pick that? How did you even know about it?
It is also because one of my teacher, he was from NSD, he's from Kerala, Abhilash Pillai. He's right now the director of Thrissur Drama School, but we were doing a play at that time. He came as a guest faculty for a brief period, and he was making a play which was based out of this novel called Legend of Khasak by O.V. Vijay. It's a very brilliantly written novel. So we were doing a co-production. Some artists were from England, some from Greece, Spain. So we were doing a play together, and at that time I was closely working with him as an actor, also as an assistant director, also script writing. So I was also a little bit more into direction back then as well. So I wanted to see how it is, and then he was asking me, why are you not going into acting much? And I said, I don't quite like acting, is what I felt. And he said, why? I said, because that time I was only aware of Stanislavski or like psychologically thinking of acting, how a character would think, this, that. Only that aspect I was aware of in the very beginnings, my very beginning of school time. And then I was aware of a bit of method acting. But I was like, none of this feels like me. Then he said, what would you like? Then I started explaining him, how would I actually like? If acting were to be there, what would I like? Then he said, then he gave me 2-3 schools. He said that these schools may offer you different kind of techniques. So in that, I have applied to a school in Singapore as well, which was more Asian, Southeast Asian and like, or Asian side of techniques that we have developed. Nothing from Russia or Europe or the US. This is more from this side part of the world. And our part of the world, most of it is practicing externally, then going in, finding what's internal. And in all of the other things, it's always like
going internally
and
first.
everything comes. We are like, no, you keep repeating your drinking, you keep repeating your drinking. And at one point, what it's making you do, it comes out like that. Or you learn a gesture again and again and again. The meaning comes, internal comes out of it. So, which I was quite fascinated. And I felt, because for me, the other techniques was affecting me personally, psychologically.
Yes, because when you really get into it, it's...
This I was not very fond of. I'm like, no, I don't want me to indulge in it as an actor. I want to be able to do something and fully in. Also very honest, but I want to come out of it like, okay, I'm done, like that.
Yes.
I want to be able to really switch it off when I want to. And I saw in Kodiyatam actors, they fully go in. They play as Ravana, they play as Ram. They sometimes play Narasimha and like literally like ripping off Hiranyakashipu's stomach and like really killing. And then this actor friend, she does that, and she also acts as Prahlada, the son, who's scared watching it. Like, I'm getting goosebumps, you can see. And she's switching it like in that moment. So a lot of method actors are like sometimes, oh, I'm doing this character, I can't do anything else, now I'm in it.
Correct.
Some cinema, some story may demand it. I'm not saying none of it. I can imagine like certain storytelling and certain style may demand your full being only that for a certain period of time. But I want to know also, how can you switch it off? Like, I was very fascinated by that, and I was like, wow, Kodiyatam or Kathakali or a lot of Asian traditional or folk forms, both kind of offer you the technique for that. And why are we not inquiring to not?
I know, it's very interesting. So when I was doing my MBA, I took some acting classes, and my teacher, like I saw her in a play once, and it was like this very witty, like very romantic. She played this character, and she came out changed, like she became a different person. I was like, wow, how do you? I'll still remember that day. Like when the minute she went into the room, changed and came out, she was like a different person. So I was like, in 5 minutes, how does someone change like that?
I'm getting this away.
It was just amazing.
So I feel we are very much from that tradition. And I'm not saying that this is the only way to do.
But that's like comfortable for you.
It was comfortable for me. I felt, and Jack Lowcock, this school was founded by a circus person. So he had his pedagogy was completely different. It's not neither this as well. It's like you don't think. You don't think. You respond to stimulus around, and you just be there, and nothing about thinking what this happen. Go in, go in, and that was different as well. But that also I really liked, and that can work for certain kind of style of acting and certain kind of cinema as well, and certain characters. For example, the character I did in OK Computer, this theatre school I studied, their technique helps me the most to do that, because it's a different playfulness. Also, my school in Paris, they offer you like clowning, buffoon, mask, puppetry. These are also, because I'm from theatre, it's not only about your face and your body acting, it's about an extension of your mind to something else, which is sometimes mask, sometimes puppetry, which I love the most, by the way. That's my most favorite art form. So that there you really don't show, but you know where it breathes, where you release. And it's amazing as well. So coming back to, like I'm saying, so there are so many different techniques, but like India is rich with a lot of craft and knowledge that has been acquired from many years with a lot of traditional performances as well. So you go and you submit yourself. Things you works for you, take it. Things doesn't work, you don't have to. But there is a lot of knowledge and wisdom in that side as well that you can take. Yeah.
So I have to go back in time to, all this comes from somewhere, from home actually. And your parents, Jayashri and Maitreya, they both dropped their last name because they didn't want to be associated with any religion. And they met while your father was a monk in a monastery. Or so we need to hear about that, how they met. And you've been raised, you call them by their first name. You've been raised in a very, I don't know what we call traditional, what we don't, in your own unique way.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about, and you're an only child, so tell me a little bit about how was your upbringing? Was it like you were being raised by two friends? How was your upbringing like, where were you asked to discover what you want, or what was their influence like? Because your mother was a social activist, your father is a rationalist and a monk, and it's like a unusually eclectic background.
Yes. So I think my parents, while they were all this, also I went to a government school.
Yeah.
They did not send me to an alternative school or because you are going to think differently, go to a different school. No, my father particularly, Maitreya, was very clear that you go to a government school in Malayalam medium. So I started speaking in English much later, like I was 18 or 19, because I'm like, I don't know how to speak this language.
Yeah.
But they didn't never forced me. They said language is just a way of communication to another person. If you don't have it, you lose out on hearing what they want to share or something. So that way, but I went to a very normal school. But when I was 10 or something, both my parents anyway used to send me to sometimes, some theatre workshop is happening. When I was a kid, I remember one day my father was like, pack your bag for a week. And I was like, where am I going? I thought my grandparents or something. And he was like, no, pack up. And then I'm going with him. I did not know. So apparently there was some women's workshop happening, which was conducted by some French artist in Trivandrum. Also organized by this feminist theatre group back then. And there was only women. But I was a kid.
Yeah.
And I was like, but I have never shown interest in acting. I don't know why I'm there. But I immediately liked it because it was playful. Like all these girls, like Chechi, we say, like elders, they were all making papier-mâché puppets or masks, and I'm liking, and they're asking me to play with the property in different way, and it was amazing for me to do it. And that's one of the first play I watched also at that time, which was Odysseus by this French theatre group. It was amazing. Like I think it's one of the most incredible thing I've seen in my life even now. Like it was brilliant. And I was like, wow, I still never feel like I want to act, but I'm like, I want to play. And we say it's a play, you don't say it's a theatre. I'm going to go watch a play. It's literally that. So I was like, I like this. And so they used to do this, or they used to send me to sometimes gender sexuality workshop. All these things they used to do while I'm in a government school and I'm interacting with very normal Kerala people, surrounded by only that kind of thing. Even though my father is an atheist or my mother doesn't really go to temple or anything, I used to go to temple when I was a kid. So they never came and said, you cannot go to temple or a church or anything. They say, you do what you want. We will say what we think about it. You can say what you think about it. So I think they brought me up in a way that they pushed me to always tell me what I think too. Like they are not telling me this is right or wrong. They'll say this is the consequence of that. What do you think of that? Or they would engage with me in conversation all the time. But I knew they were different because I am calling them by name. None of my friends were not calling their parents by their name. So I'm like, and I did not have any piercing, nothing. They said, you want to do it when you are 18, you do. We are not going to do anything on your body. So there were some, I could see there is definitely a difference. And then another thing is like, I did not have a religion or caste in my school admission thing, which nobody doesn't have to, but like generally people put. And for the first day of admission, my mother took me, and then so the administration, all of them were like, what is her caste and religion? And my mother was like, no, we don't want to put it. And they're like, no, you have to. And she said, no, we don't need to put it in this country. We don't need to. But then they were like, she had to kind of, negotiate with them, or like kind of a little bit argue with them for 15-20 minutes. So she was a bit tired, my mother. So after that, they're like, okay, what's her second name? So then she's like, she doesn't have a second name, it's just Kani. They're like, what? She has no caste, no religion, no second name. Where is she? This is like came out of the blue. What is this child? So
She's Oprah.
so my mother was a little tired, I think. So she was like, okay, put K. Because they were insisting on, they will put my father's name.
Yeah.
So my mother like, no, you're not putting that. Okay, there is an initial K. Like randomly she said a letter K. Until I was in 10th standard, I also don't know what this K doesn't stand for anything.
Correct.
And you have to expand it by the time you're in 10th or passport or like all these public exams start coming, you have to kind of show because this becomes your identification and you give. So teacher is asking what is this, and in passport I have to apply or everywhere this expansion they've been asking, and so I don't know, and I go back to my parents and I ask them what this is K. So they're little they would play with me. They're like, you put Kalli. Kalli means thief in Malayalam, okay? K stands for Kalli, you are a proper thief. Or they would say, why don't you put Kerala? Like, they would jokingly say really fun words, like many bad words also. They said, I'm not telling you all that. Among that, my father only said Kusruti. This word, Kusruti means mischievous actually, or naughty, okay? And I thought, it seems funny, or like, I don't know, I was only 15 or 16. I'm like, okay, I'll put it. Then I put it just like that.
Yeah.
And
That's stuck.
Yeah, that's stuck. And in Kerala, actually, before I became like actor, when I go to bank or any office, government office, some really menial job that you don't want to do, but you are there and they are also bored, but the moment they see my name, it's like a funny conversation. Like, Kusruti, who gave you? What is this morning? Like, they are very happy. They're like, So
it's a good conversation starter.
Yes, I was saying, okay, this is good. One should keep a fun name in their name. So when you go, everyone is light suddenly.
Yes. Yeah. Because I think mischief is something everybody loves, you know.
And it's not, nobody puts that name. They're like, are you serious you have this name? I said, yeah.
See, only in Kerala they know that. Everywhere else they feel,
it's just like,
it's like a nice last name.
Yeah, true.
So in that upbringing, how have your values for the rest of your life formed on it? What are your thoughts on relationships or... I mean, one thing that's really up for grabs today is the institution of marriage, right? I mean, you look at a lot of questioning that, etc. So, how has that upbringing affected your own opinions on any institute, be it religion or be it college or be it marriage, etc.? What do you think of established institutions?
One thing I think, like I said, because both my parents never forced me to, they were not married. They were in a live-in relationship. Back then in Kerala, it's scandal.
Yes.
To be really honest.
And then have a child.
Yes, so everything.
Yeah.
And they said, they never said that you should not get married or you should get married or you should not believe in religion. They have definitely given me their opinion on it, like quite strongly. Like they would say, my father particularly, my mother is more of a softer
Do whatever you want, but there's no God.
Not like that. My father said that I don't believe in God. That's all he'll say. He will never say that. He said I don't support that, and I'm an atheist. If you do, you do. Like I know that he very clearly he didn't like, but my mother is like, you want to, you do. I absolutely. She has respect for all kinds of everything. She's
more an agnostic than an atheist, kind of.
Yes, she will be like, let them all live. Like something like that is how she is. And my father is a very quite staunch atheist. He will be like, no. But at the same time, like I said, I did go to temple. I was 8 or 9. I read Bible and I got very fascinated by everything written in it. And I felt I loved this feeling of guilt and confession. I used to go to a school next to my school which had a church, and I would go there. I would want to confess. I liked all that. So I did go on my own journey. Then I started discovering Vedas and Upanishads, which were all those books were at my home. So I would read, and my father is very good in Sanskrit, and he would recite a sloka, will tell me the meaning. Both of them knew Sanskrit. Even I studied Sanskrit, so I would read. And because he was a monk, he knows it very well. So I started getting very fascinated by very young only, 8, 9, what is the meaning of life? And I felt, oh, Upanishads is giving me the answers to this. And like, what is beyond this? Or are we dreams of something else? All this used to come to me a lot. So I used to read them a lot. And by the age 14, 15, it went also. That's what I think. Like when you, if you go early to it, you may come out early also. So I think by the time I was 15, I, on my own, I stopped liking going to temple or church. I only didn't like. I was like, no, there is a lot of hypocrisy happening, and because also like I used to read a lot of Upanishads and Vedas, that I'm like, why do we need temple? If you really want to pray, if you really want to be one with God, I started questioning, why do you need a space? You can do it on your own. And I used to also meditate. So I'm like, no, these are all like a lot of farce. People are doing extra for something really rooted in you. You are going very outwardly where you don't need to do that. And so the questioning of that started coming from me, within me only, where I felt a lot of performativity, which is not needed in actual religious practices if you really wanted. So I'm like, why then that is happening? So then I'm like, no, this is actually a community. These are existing as an institution different. It's not only necessarily because of one person's journey. This is something else, a community coming together, wanting to help. There were no constitution, hence they had different tools. So I started on my own understanding these. So still somebody can be, people like praying, or people like to feel there is God. They can privately practice it differently. You don't need it. So I started feeling these are all different things.
Correct.
So that's how I came out of it on my own. It's just that I had great parents who would understand it. Another friends of mine who would have a similar journey will struggle to connect with their parents if they are believers or if they are not open-minded. So as opposed to that, again, when I don't know if you ever had or I shared with you this letter my father gave me when I turned 18.
No.
I would share this with you, because since you asked, that letter kind of summarizes everything, how they brought me up in a way. So again, you want to get married, you get married. There was no such thing. So again, all these things, it came out of me on my own now when I think of it, but it's not just that. They did kind of make the base, it's true, but they just allowed me to be there as it is. They never pushed me in a way that where I feel like I want to rebel them,
Correct.
A lot of progressive parents, I know that when their thoughts comes too strongly, children, especially in that teenage time, you want to be like a rebel against your parents anyway. So my parents were quite carelessly, carefully careless. I was like, I don't know if I'll be able to do if I have a child. I used to do very weird, like any teenager would do, kind of very things like going out of the house in the night, things like that. And now when I look back, I'm like, how did they survive those nights or anything?
Right.
But my parents had like, it's not that they didn't struggle, but they're like, oh, no, we have to let her do it so that she's not going to rebel more. So they had a very, very strong mind with a lot of love. And they gave me a lot of love and respect and time, really. Like, I think that's where I never had a strained relationship with my parents. I always had a beautiful friendship with my parents, because absolute respect they give me, more than I give them actually. And they really respect me when I grew up differently, or even not like them or anything. They just respected me like another individual, even though they brought me up. This I think really helped me to, it really kind of grounded me, and to have that really good relationship with them, continue to do so. And like I said, if I have to act in a play, to do anything, again, I didn't want to act. I was kind of avoiding it, and my mother was like, why don't you go? Do it one day. You don't like, learn to say no. So I didn't go, because I was like, if I go one day, then if I don't like, how will I tell them? All this I carried when I was 15, 16. So even learning this no, when you want to say no, I heard you out, but I don't think I want to work. You have to, all this are part of growing up, and to have that ability to say no at the age of 16 or 17, all that came to me because the way they brought me up. They allowed me, they're like, you do it. We are here. You have to try. You fail. We come when you can't. We are there. But protect you, but not, we will do it for you. No,
Correct.
You do it. We are here. There is a problem, you suffer with something, you can share that pain with us. We will, if there is a solution, we come out with a solution. If not, we will all cry together. Like that. So it was beautiful like that. So
I want to talk a little bit about the letter your father gave, because I always feel one of the best legacy we can leave for our children is something you write. My father also, before he passed away, he wrote a whole book about me. And then he wrote saying, here are your strengths, here are your weaknesses, here is how you were, here are your, gentle suggestions of improvement, Amazing. But it was so beautiful to get that in his handwriting. Yes. And I really treasure that, and I feel it's one of the best gifts we can give our children is something in your handwriting. So tell me a little bit about the letter your father wrote.
Actually, it's better I give you that. I don't know if I want to, if you've read it now, then I can, otherwise I don't know. It's personal also, I don't know.
So we'll put it in the...
You can, because actually it's already published, because my best friend and Anand together translated in English. It was originally written in Malayalam. Because they, a lot of female friends of mine, I used to share it with them sometimes. I was like, and they're like, people used to, or a lot of girl children, they used to say, I feel better to know that there is a father exists like that. And just that information itself, they were feeling like my father is like their father,
right?
And hence then I was like, maybe I should just put it out in public only. It's okay, like it's even though it's personal. So there are some lines in it can be a little too much for someone, because they're like, how can he say that? One can feel it. There is one line even I can imagine, but it's really between him and I. Like he used to take me for walks to like, let's go watch sunset today, and or he'll be like, let's sleep in the terrace today. I'll tell you watch constellations. Or like he was very much in my upbringing, like every day he was with me through. My grandmother as well. My mother was a doctor too. She's a doctor. So she was a breadwinner as well. So she had less time till I was 12 or 13, and she also, as a couple, I think they had this thing that she said that she will start engaging with me more till when I'm 10, 11, 12 more. Because she always, even now she says, she doesn't like children. She's like, I don't understand them. They have to be at least 11, 12. Now
then like an adult, I can have a conversation.
Something, yes. And from then she was amazing too. Like she kind of really entered as a mother in my life by the age 12, 13. And I did not miss her till then. My grandmother and my father was more than enough, in fact. Quite, their full attention was with me. And my mother is there, but she was mostly in the background most of the time. By the time I was hitting puberty, she was fully there. Like when I fell in love first, she's both of them, but she was like, she was talking to me about, also she's like, okay, I want to talk to you. And she understood that I'm in love. I didn't share with them. She's like, it's very normal when you are a teenager, you fall in love. You should. It's just like, if you can, maybe you can't, I don't know, but I would suggest if you can avoid promising the person that you will marry, you will do this, it's only that you may break their heart. He was talking to me from that boy's perspective, and she was like, and it can really affect their mental health. And it really hurts people. So you have to be very careful when you interact with another mind. When you really go like, and I was like, what is this person saying? And in my mind, I'm like, oh no, I said I love you means I will marry this person.
That's how it was, right? You hold hands, that's it, you better get married.
I used to think like this. Then it was quite difficult for me when I actually didn't break up with this person much later. But it was very difficult. But I remember my mother trying to enable me to, fall in love, but try not to hurt, and like all that. She was more there than also giving sex education from much younger age. Both my parents took me to medical college exhibition where they show all the organs which is in formaldehyde, and and about child sexual abuse. My mother used to tell me like how to navigate, how to, even if you protest, if there is nobody, they can probably kill you. So how to be clever enough to be come out of it, and then very carefully probably share with her. Like, so I was quite enabled as a child all the time. Like they were there for me.
Well informed.
So, and plus I could always share all this with my close friends. So all of us were protected or like also
well educated.
Yes,
actually.
and I felt very really grateful to both my parents for doing that. Also like my father, he would take a lot of children around the village. We will all go for a walk. He will show us all the plants. He'll say, this plant does this, this is this, and if you see a snake, you can, if this is, it's not poisonous, this one you can catch. Like he had a lot of such knowledge as well. So he would share all that, which generally parents used to not do much.
So as we kind of wind down the conversation.
This one is losing battery. It's almost done, no?
This is the losing battery. It's okay. We'll just have a last question. It's all right. So So I want to wrap up by asking you about what would you like young girls to do more of? Because I think, one of the things I always say is that maybe we put too much expectations on the girls to take care of the whole village also, probably we shouldn't.
Yeah.
But, and I also feel a lot of times women limit themselves before somebody else limits them. So what have you observed? What would you like to tell young girls out there that they should focus on?
I mean,
or young women, working women, doesn't matter.
I always think one thing in parenting that came to me, which I thought was nice, is because to not be so afraid of trying something, like to be able to take failure. Like, I think my mother always, and both my parents, like, okay, you feel like touching fire, learn to touch a little bit to see what it does to you, like, so that try other than avoiding it. If you have a temptation, tell it to your close people, go with them, experience it a bit, and then maybe you don't want it also. Rather you controlling all your temptations and then trying not to do, and then you suddenly encounter it, then you jump into it without just little bit playful. And I really think that one should allow to do a little bit of your temptations of any kind, like anything that you think you want to know, go know it if you can, and also be smart about things, like rather going into, sometimes to women I feel like saying that just be smart about, it's okay to lie a little bit. If you think that's going to give you something, it's okay, because this world is not going to be fair to women so much. It's okay if you have to lie and do get something, it's okay. When I was a kid I used to think never lie, but I'm like, no, women are treated so badly, not just women, all kinds of genders. Then you may have to manipulate, not like manipulate a person, but like manipulate your situation a bit so that you can get to probably learn an instrument or like do something, then go do it, it's okay, like that. That I feel like it's okay. As a child, when you're a child, do all that, it's fine. Don't be such a good girl and then end up limiting yourself so much. Like we have just one life, so learn and grasp everything as much as you can so that you can make a new permutation, combination or something that you can offer. And that's something I feel like saying. And otherwise, just be curious, just allow that curiosity to have in your mind, which I would say to any gender, it's nothing to do with just women. And another thing is, I think like being dependent on one person, I think it just to anybody I will say this, like if we don't have it, it's the best, I always feel like, so that it just liberates you more, like don't get attached to like a person or something. You can get attached to many personalities. You can get attached to ideas and things, because like I said again, like it's just like one life, and whatever gonna like you kind of push you back and be in one state, maybe not. See, we lived forever, I have no problem. Have everything. Even tragedy, why not? Like, if you know that is coming, then like otherwise I just like allow yourself and be playful and be lighter and really like to be reminded us of that we're really here for a short period of time. The experiences you have, it's all what you have.
All that matters.
And that you can share it to somebody else. That's it. So, that.
So, I do
and to have this, like you said, like there is no, like the world is changing so amazingly also in a way, and many problems are there, but in some sides wherever it has opened up, it has been more democratic in many aspects in terms of how the technological revolution has happened. So it does give you a certain way that you can kind of put out what you want to say and share with a lot of people. I mean, that's good, I think, in a way. So like make the most of it in that way, and no matter where you are, and it happens, like if you are at it like that. I don't, and if you feel that you are treated unfairly, really go speak to someone that you think that they can help. Don't try not share, like go out and really share. There you will find someone who can probably help you, and take that help. Don't share from him.
And professionally, is there something that you want to do? Like you say, oh, I would love to play that kind of character, or I would like to work with this kind of director, or is there anything like that?
I don't have a character, but I have said this again before. I love comedy as a genre. It's my most, I think it's the most difficult form to crack. It's the most difficult to do. Anything else is much easier. If you have to really make people laugh and also make them think after that, is one of the most difficult. And as an actor, to write, it's difficult; to direct, it's difficult; to act, it's difficult. So as a genre, I always love to do comedy because it really makes you laugh and it really makes you think, and it can always pierce and like, you know, in terms of like, if it's a satire, like politically, in every aspect, like it can really make you think. And so that genre I love, and in every form, slapstick to black humor to all kinds of form of comedy is something I love.
Yeah. So is there any particular movie actor, somebody who says like a fantastic
That I love?
comedian? Yeah.
Oh, many I love.
Yeah.
Okay, I can't say one person.
You can say.
Again, like in Kerala, there is this actor called Jagati, which we all, I mean, he's God for us.
Yeah.
He's amazing. I love Jim Carrey. He's completely different, but I love Charlie Chaplin. I love slapstick also.
Yeah.
And I love, like, for example, shows like The Veep. So
right.
it's amazing. So all that, it makes you think a lot how the system works. It's all absurd. The world
Correct.
is one angle. The whole world is absurd. So that absurdity comes through comedy is really amazing.
Yeah.
And
or the Seinfeld, or you know that
yes,
kind
all
of
of all of them. Like
Yeah.
Rick and Morty. It's not it's not comedy alone, but I love that.
Yeah.
Like, you know.
Yeah. Great.
Yes.
So thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. We didn't get to talk about her, but
no, that's not the point. Another day. But I really want to see you in many more forms out there, maybe in a comedy soon.
Yeah,
so
hopefully.
let's see. If you don't get it, you should direct one.
yeah. This, actually, a lot of artists in the world do this. Like, you wait for something that you want to do, then you're like, okay, let me only write it.
I'll
Like, this
just
happens.
write, I'll direct, I'll produce or whatever, you know.
It happens,
I always say the best way to be the CEO of a company is create your own.
Yes, for sure.
So, great. So best
Thank
of luck.
you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Yes.